Frieza encountered the first Super Saiyan, but they didn't fight right away. Thanks to Kami, everyone was brought back to Earth in the nick of time. But still, that leaves a couple loose ends. We'll be seeing what happens with that and more in this third part of What If Gohan Went Super Saiyan Early. Frieza begins frantically searching for them. He can't believe the Super Saiyan is actually real, and not just that, it was some random hybrid Saiyan, and a low-class warrior at that. Thankfully, it's not really too hard to find the planet. They already know where these people came from, and they're going to go there themselves. Frieza's going to bring his whole army with him, at least what remains of it, as well as King Cold. The Frieza Force heads to Earth. Of course, everyone on Earth isn't just sitting there waiting for Frieza to come, they're training in preparation of it. Mainly Goku wants to see if he could access Super Saiyan for himself in that time, although the time frame is probably going to be pretty short, so that's probably a long shot. But at the very least, they could do some gravity training, and he could help Gohan get a better control of his power. Plus, Piccolo does have one backup plan just in case, and he's debating whether or not to use it. A few weeks pass, and just like they expected, Frieza arrives on the planet. He had no explanation for how they disappeared, but he assumed that they had some sort of friend that could teleport them or something. And that's kinda right, they just used Earth's Dragon Balls for that. And Frieza does know that there's Dragon Balls here on Earth, so he put two and two together and realized there was probably another dragon active at the same exact time. And that's how they all got home. They didn't have too much time to prepare, and the big issue is that Gohan's really their best chance at defeating Frieza right now. Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu take on the Frieza Force soldiers, and Piccolo's nowhere to be seen, but Goku and Gohan step up against Frieza in Cold. Thankfully, Frieza kinda wants to handle this himself, so King Cold doesn't get involved just yet, and he's in his final form right now, not holding back. He tells them there's no point hiding it from him. Show him the Super Saiyan. Gohan's pretty nervous, but at the same time, he's confident in his power. He's not a fighter in the sense that Goku is. So he's not going to draw out this battle just for fun and to test himself, but he's going to try and finish it as quickly as possible. And I said Frieza's not holding back, but I guess technically he is because he's not at his full power right now, and Gohan could probably exploit that, not realizing that Frieza does have more power locked away. Goku activates Kaioken at the same time, realizing that Gohan probably can't take this on alone. He also could make a Spirit Bomb, but he would need Gohan to buy him some time. Plus, he'd rather do it this way right now. So the two of them fight Frieza together, and with their combined power, they're able to injure Frieza. The issue is, Gohan didn't really grow too much on Namek after getting his potential unlocked. Goku, on the other hand, did get a Zenkai after his fight with Ginyu, but Gohan was so overpowered that he didn't really get injured. Sure, he did train here on Earth, but right now his power is probably around 500,000, which is still really good, but as a Super Saiyan, that means his power level is only going to be 25 million. Meanwhile, Goku, on the other hand, will put him around where he was normally at 3 million, meaning with Kaioken times 20, he gets up to 60 million. So combined, they actually can take on 50% Frieza, but when it comes to 100% Frieza, that's going to be an issue, especially because this is their combined power. If he splits them, he could win by dividing and conquering. So it's a really tough fought battle. They're able to hold Frieza off long enough, but eventually he does showcase more power, and Goku can't really use Kaioken for too long. So this gives Frieza an opening to power up to his 100%. Not to mention, King Cold is there too. And this is the only time he's going to step in, just so he could buy Frieza some time. But he's not going to kill these two, he'll let Frieza do that. Goku and Gohan are pretty badly injured. The other Z fighters have joined them too, but they're not really going to be able to help too much. And they're terrified feeling Frieza's full power. And Frieza just begins laughing. Gohan's strong, but doesn't match his full power at all. And Goku isn't even a Super Saiyan yet. He feared the Super Saiyan for so long, but it was just a kid. Maybe this is the only Super Saiyan, and even if it's something that other Saiyan can get, still, there's not really much to fear here. So much for the legend. They were doomed from the start. Frieza then floats up into the air, and decides he's going to kill them all with one attack, charging a Death Ball. Gohan powers up and tries to summon what's left of his strength, and so does Goku. Frieza gets a close look at Goku, and he thinks for a second maybe he's going to be able to transform into a Super Saiyan. There's nothing really to suggest this, but he has a slight fear there that maybe he is a Super Saiyan as well, in which case he's probably screwed, despite all of his taunting. But Goku powers up, and it's just Kaioken again, and Frieza's smile returns, at least for a brief moment. Two hands cup together then slam onto his head. Someone hits him from behind with a sledgehammer attack. Frieza's briefly stunned, grabbing onto his head in pain, and he looks up to see a Namekian floating behind him. He's not sure who this guy is. Why is a Namekian here? Is that the guy that was with them before? Frieza is pretty racist after all, so he thinks this is just Nail. The Namekians all look the same to him. But no, it's Piccolo, and he tells Frieza to stop being racist. Quickly he fires a death beam at Piccolo, thinking that it was just a sneak attack that was able to harm him. But Piccolo simply swats the death beam away, and he smirks. He's glad that he gets to test out this power here. The reason he was gone is because he was on the lookout. He was watching with Kami, and when things got really dire, they decided to fuse, realizing it's their only shot at winning. Not to mention, Piccolo's been left behind by Goku and his student Gohan. Surely he can't let Gohan get ahead of him that easily. So reluctantly he fused with Nail. Right now, there's no Dragon Balls on Earth, but it's fine. They can go back to New Namek and get Dende to be their guardian. For now, he just needs to kill Frieza. Frieza launches towards him and the two begin clashing, although Piccolo doesn't really need to put in much effort. He then starts firing a bunch of ki blasts at Frieza, and they all miss. With Frieza criticizing his aim. He might be powerful, but he seems to be terrible as a fighter. And Piccolo smirks as he then draws his hands in. He didn't miss all of those attacks. Frieza looks around and sees a bunch of ki blasts flying around him, then close again on him. with Piccolo performing a Hellzone grenade. An unconscious Frieza then falls from the sky, being easily defeated by Piccolo. And before he touches the ground, a Masenko is sent down to kill him. Angrily, King Cole then jumps up in the sky, and Piccolo simply points 2 fingers out, quickly charging a Makanko Sapo, shooting it right through his chest. As powerful as the attack is, it's not enough to take King Cole down, but Piccolo at least finds that impressive, and it stuns King Cole for a bit. So, he completely destroys him as well, eradicating him alongside Frieza. Piccolo then breathes out a sigh of relief. If he knew he'd grow this strong, he would have fused with Kami long ago. And he tells Gohan he did good out there. Even if he didn't match Frieza's power, still, he's got to consider that he's 5 years old, fighting some sort of galactic emperor. That was still really impressive. And Goku's really amazed by Piccolo's power. Looks like he's got to push himself a lot further and become a Super Saiyan as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he'll be the next one left in the dust. Following this, Goku and Piccolo take a trip to New Namek. King Kai is able to guide them there, and the Namekians are surprised to see them right away. It hasn't really been that long, but they explain what happened. Frieza came to Earth really quickly, and Piccolo ended up merging with Kami just like Nail suggested. So, now they need a new guardian for Earth, and Dende's up for it. It's a pretty smooth and quick process, but it's kind of annoying having to take all these space trips back to back. If only Goku had some way to instantly transmit himself across the galaxy or something. But surely there's no technique like that for him. They return to Earth, with Dende as the new guardian, also making a new Shenron. And this is a better Shenron too. He has 3 wishes. Dende also tells him that Mori upgraded the Dragon Balls on their planet as well, and they're recovering pretty well from the attack from Frieza. Thankfully with that upgraded Purunga, they won't need to rely on Shenron to revive multiple people at once, because now Purunga can do that too. Cool. Some time passes. At some point, another ship arrives on Earth. It looks like a Frieza Force ship, but they're not really too sure why because the Frieza Force was defeated. But they all come to the realization that it's probably Vegeta, and of course, it is Vegeta. Months have passed since Frieza's defeat. Vegeta has been through some grueling training on his own. And finally, after all this time, he's figured out how to do it. He's become a Super Saiyan. His emotions were dialed up to 100, especially because, well, he felt pretty insecure seeing Gohan become a Super Saiyan. A low-class child becoming the Super Saiyan before him was insane. Not to mention how his pride was shattered on Namek. And he's been consumed with revenge, particularly against Gohan, but also Kakarot. So he immediately shows off the transformation, ready to fight against Gohan. Although there is kind of an issue here. He's become a Super Saiyan, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's stronger than Gohan here. Actually, he's not even stronger than Goku right now. Goku asks if he could fight Vegeta, and Vegeta just laughs at this. There's no way he could fight a Super Saiyan. His son might be a Super Saiyan, but he isn't. Really now. Goku then transforms. He just recently unlocked this for himself too. Pretty much at the same time Vegeta did. Vegeta had his emotions to work with, and Goku did actually tap into that a little bit, but more so, he's been able to study Gohan's transformation for a while. He's trained with the Super Saiyan for months and been around him long enough to actually learn how to transform into it. After all, how will he teach Gohan to get control of the form if he doesn't really know much about him himself? So Goku and Vegeta begin fighting, and as a Super Saiyan right now, Goku is actually the strongest. In base, he was ahead of both Gohan and Vegeta, but he's only had this form for about a week, so his control in it isn't really great. Same goes for Vegeta too, but the fight ends pretty quickly. Goku defeats Vegeta, and he takes another loss on Earth, with Goku also finally getting to win against him, since the last time they beat Vegeta, it wasn't really too fair for Goku. This time it was purely him that did it, which makes him really happy. And Vegeta's fuming because once more he's been embarrassed. That's the 3rd time in a row he lost to them. But at least it wasn't Krillin one-shotting him this time. He still really resents Krillin for that. He really has no clue of what he has to do now because he feels so far behind them. But Goku says Vegeta should stay here. His friends think he's crazy, but Goku says it's fine. Vegeta's clearly not a threat, and he just wants to beat Goku, which really pisses Vegeta off because he should be taken seriously. He'll blow up this whole planet and kill everyone on it. Goku says it would be nice to have another Super Saiyan around to train with. Plus, doesn't Vegeta want to learn more about the form himself? What better way to do that than train with a fellow Super Saiyan? It's a win-win for both of them, and maybe he could actually get strong enough to defeat Goku. Vegeta's really being disrespected, and he's at his wit's end right now, but he doesn't really know what else to do. He has no place out in space because the Frieza Force is gone, and he would just be traveling around aimlessly. At least here on Earth, he would have some sort of purpose, and he could gauge his power against Kakarot. But he tells Goku, the next time they fight, it still will be a death match. Just because he's staying here doesn't mean he's not going to kill Goku. And Goku laughs it off, sure. But Vegeta has one question. Which of them defeated Frieza? Well, Goku only just recently became a Super Saiyan, and Gohan wasn't actually strong enough to defeat Frieza at that time. And Goku points over at Piccolo. He was the one to do it. Wait, what? He thought Kakarot was the strongest here. Well, he is the strongest here, when you just consider Saiyans. Piccolo's actually the strongest by a huge margin. Of course, this isn't like Cell Saga Piccolo, because he is missing Nail as part of him, but that's not really a major chunk of power for him. Most of Piccolo's power came from Kami after all, so him fusing with Kami so early puts him really far ahead of everyone else. So, with nothing better to do, Vegeta stays here, although he spends most of his time alone, pretty much living in a wasteland. At least until Bulma gets to him. But even then, he spends a lot of his time on his own, training 24/7 in an effort to grow stronger. He needs better control of Super Saiyan. He needs to get strong enough to defeat Goku and Gohan. And Bulma finds him attractive, but it's really weird that he's that angry over a child. Also, kind of funny that he's not even as strong as Gohan either. Is it motivation, or is he just kind of pathetic? Either way, she thinks it's hot. She likes the weirdos. Years pass. Frieza and King Cold already showed up, and there's no time traveler or anything. You'll see why soon. Vegeta slowly gets more and more adjusted to Earth, and all the while, Goku and his friends continue training just like normal. Vegeta is kind of Goku's rival right now, but mainly he's focused on Piccolo with him being the strongest. He didn't think fusing with Kami would make him that powerful, but even after unlocking Super Saiyan, he's still really far behind, so Piccolo's the next goal for him. He spends a lot of time training with Piccolo, who also spends a lot of time training with Gohan. The two kind of jointly train Gohan. Being the person who's had a Super Saiyan for the longest, slowly his grip on it gets better and better, and that also rubs off on Goku because he just adapts really quickly. Vegeta's probably getting a better control of it too, but he's not really spending a lot of time with Goku. There were brief moments where Goku sparred with him, but Vegeta spends most of his time alone. They're gonna have a true rematch soon enough. A lot of time has passed. We get to age 766. Amidst their training, Goku starts to feel really strange, and he just suddenly collapses. Once they find out what's wrong with him, it's already too late. He succumbed to the heart virus, and there's nothing they can do to really help it. First of all, there's no cure, and senzu beans won't even work. But to make things worse, they know that if Goku dies here, Shannon won't be able to revive him, and probably Purunga as well. And the virus hits so quickly that there's not really anything they can do. Within days, Goku's dead. Of course, the group wants to find some sort of way to bring him back, but right now, it seems like this might be permanent. Of course, all of his friends are in disbelief, incredibly saddened by this. As for Vegeta, he can't believe a Saiyan warrior was taken down by a virus like that, and he never got his chance of a rematch. No one has a clue of what to do next. Bulma's expecting a child soon. Trunks actually hasn't been born just yet, so he's going to be born a little later. We're staying right in this timeline. And just as you'd expect, not too long after Goku dies from the heart virus, the androids are activated. Dr. Gero sends them out to attack a city, and of course, they kill Dr. Gero in the process. They don't even realize Goku's dead just yet. But in the meantime, they could have some fun, cause some chaos, and probably at least kill Goku's friends if they come for them. This should be pretty fun. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.